Hello everyone and welcome back to the 120th episode of Panther Talks.
Hello.
This week we have a lot to talk about.
He's making false claims.
I'm really not.
He's saying at least half as good. I don't believe him.
We've got more to discuss on MindsEye, which I believe we all know where that's going to go at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. A Damian Wayne Batman game footage has been leaked, which I am very intrigued by because I love the Batman Arkham games, and so do so many others. Insomniac Games could be on the verge of a ridiculous Marvel hot streak. I mean, they've released two amazing... No, it was three. Yeah, Spiderman games. Because you got the Spiderman 1 game, Spiderman Miles Morales, and Spiderman 2. So, they've done amazing so far, and if they're moving on to something else, because I've heard they are working on the Wolverine game as well, and a possibility of a Spider-Man 3, it's insane, but good on Insomniac. After that, Romero Games is reportedly shutting down, which I am very surprised by. They were a massive studio, but apparently it looks like Microsoft might be to blame. What a surprise. As of recent. Then we'll be discussing the Stop Killing Games campaign, as it's finally passed its goal, which I'm so happy to hear.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, it's great news. At last, we've needed some after all this time. We'll be just continuing to discuss that and how basically the European Game Publisher Group responded to it, and is trying to claim that these proposals could curtail developer choice, which I think is a bit of a ludicrous statement, but we'll cover that later. After that, we'll be discussing Microsoft layoffs and how that has impacted Perfect Dark and cancelled that game, which has upset many people. But the lead actor is actually saying, stand up, speak your piece, and hopefully fans can save the series, which would be good to see. Someone else is discussing on a possible way that we can basically look at this and prevent Microsoft from doing the same crap moving forwards, and hopefully find a different way to do it. After that, discussing Valve's reported profit per head from Steam commissions, and the number is insanity. Then we'll be discussing some Rust developer overhauling, which I'm sure we'll add a nice little bit of detail to that for us. The last two will be RoboCop Rogue City's expansion, and basically what they're pushing forward in that, which I'm excited for because I loved the original RoboCop game. And the final one is Rematch plans to add an in-game report system, which all games that are multiplayer should have. The reason I wanted to mention this one, though, is because apparently they're going to be able to punish own goal griefers with 3 days bans and slap cheaters with indefinite bans. I'm very excited to see that.
The fact that that's something you've got to mention, like were
Oh, yeah.
cheaters not getting permabanned before?
Oh, look at however many games there are out there that don't even bother with indefinite bans. Especially those that don't even go for IP bans or device bans.
Oh no, they definitely need to be a thing again, because all people have to do is just go and buy an alt account for literally £2 with the game already on it, and they're straight back to cheating.
Exactly that.
Or you get idiots like Face Punch that let people with game banned 0 days ago just go and play the game again. It's like, what's the point of a ban anymore?
What do you mean point? I don't think there was ever a point. But anyways, let's get started as we mean to go on today. So MindsEye boss reportedly blames its failure on Sabotage and says a relaunch is in the works, even as the entire development studio is at risk of layoffs.
Interested to hear this.
Well, just to add a little bit of context, do you want to guess at who the MindsEye leads believe sabotaged their game?
Please tell me.
They believe Rockstar Games sabotaged them.
And how, pray tell, would they do such a thing?
It's a great question. It's an absolutely great question. They believe that basically Rockstar Games were paying publishers... sorry, not publishers. They were paying media. They were paying off for bad reviews across the board on the game and basically apparently making it out to be worse than it actually is.
You don't need to pay anybody to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw a video the other day of a live streamer, and basically she drifted her car, got caught between two posts, and the car just like kept crashing repeatedly, even though it was perfectly in between these two posts, and eventually blew up. She couldn't move. She was very upset. This was one of the people, if I'm right, that they also paid to review the game and play the game so they could get more sales. Not a very good decision. So, the situation at MindsEye, studio builder Rocket Boy, has taken another weird turn in the form of a video chat between founder Leslie and employees, according to an IGN report. Leslie is committed to a relaunch of MindsEye, presumably with the goal of setting the game on a redemption arc, even though the entire studio is at risk of being let go. Honestly, I'll never understand how this game's even functional, like to the point where you can launch it. I mean,
We've been questioning this for how long now? How games are getting released in the state that they're getting released in, and then again, not to be a broken record, but releasing it for full price.
yeah, that state as well. Fucking horrific. Looming layoffs at builder Rocket Boy were first confirmed last week with the beginning of a 45-day consultancy period required by law in the UK when a company is planning to lay off more than 100 employees. The studio acknowledged at that time that some internal changes were being made, but seemed eager to downplay it, saying that it was working to reassign roles for as many employees as possible, and that the consultation process may result in redundancies. With what money are you planning to pay these redundancies? Like, best of luck to you, but you released something that was horrific. There's no chance in hell. Today's IGN report says the redundancy emails have been sent to everyone at Builder Rocket Boy UK studio. However, estimated to be around 300 people, as well as to staff at PlayFusion, developer of the multiplayer shooter Ascendant, which builder Rocket Boy acquired in 2024. That does not bode well for the studio's promise to keep working on the game until it doesn't suck. Wait a minute. So I've been watching some videos on MindsEye, so I need to put a little context to this. MindsEye got a fair amount in development. We've always said it's probably about 500 mil because of what the prior employee said, and we never heard anything that basically turned around and went, no, that's not true. So, if that's the amount, cool. We've also heard rumours, though, it's about 100 mil. Now, yeah, that's another rumour I've heard about. Now, while discussing this bit, the reason I'm so, stuck on this here is that basically 300 they're wanting to fire 300 people, but they didn't release anything, they didn't have any product till this year. So where did they get the money to buy another company in 2024?
They've just been pulling money out of their ass the last however many years it took to develop this game.
Exactly. But that's kind of the worry here. They've actually spent money that could have been used on publishing to acquire another studio.
Rory, I've got some really bad news that's gonna maybe make you flip a table.
Shoot.
Apparently, the game was in development for 8 years.
Ooh.
Now, obviously, this could just be complete phony BS, but
No, it's real.
first results I get. MindsEye was in development for 8 years. The game was first teased in 2022, and the release when we know it was released. According to GameRant, the project started around the same time as the concept of AI. Okay, that's not necessary information, but thanks, I guess. AI.
Yeah, that is actually true.
So yeah, 8 years, 500 mil.
And acquiring another studio. And the other part that really blows me away on this entire situation, I've got to say, is that basically, while they have been developing since that entire time, originally what was supposed to happen was a game called Everywhere, was supposed to release in 2023, I believe it was. And that was basically, you know how I showed you on MindsEye, how it's got like that creation system. So it
Yes.
turns out everywhere was basically supposed to be like Roblox in a way.
Yeah, I'm going over it.
Yeah. Well, it never released, as we all know, and basically they decided, oh right, yeah, we're just gonna release it inside of MindsEye, and obviously there's just such a large mess to the whole situation. There's no context, no logic behind the decisions, nothing. And I mean, them everywhere system doesn't even work correctly. So fuck off. But
Do
go on.
you know how much it cost them to acquire
I do not
was
know.
Play Fusion? I was trying to look at myself, and I'm not getting a solid answer, but some information. So in early 2024, I
Yeah,
think this is in. Apparently, Build a Rocket Boy announced it raised 110 million in a Series D funding round.
right.
Let's see.
110 million. That's definitely outside excess of 100 million that they claim.
Here is the link in the research channel
Yeah,
that I've
look
just
at
come
that.
across. If you want to look at
Definitely.
that,
I think
there's
it'd
not
be
much
interesting.
information on it, but yeah.
Well, Build a Rocket Boy lands $110 million in funding. Leslie Studio will put the money towards free flagship products everywhere. AAA franchise MindsEye and UGG tool Arcadia. That and that pretty much just became this. And there's nothing AAA about that.
Oh no, dear God, no, there's not.
But the thing is, this funding
I mean, let's be honest, Roy.
only,
This is obviously at least quadruple A.
yeah, obvious. 'Cause I think quadruple A at this point literally just means a failed double A product. It's just got a ton of money thrown at
Yes,
it,
so what,
and
they've
there's
doubled
nothing
down and
else.
doubled the money?
Yeah, pretty much. But there's no mention of them
Yeah,
buying another
I was
studio.
having a look around trying to like find like how much they put into it,
Yeah.
because if they've already spent well, not that we have any confirmation that they've spent it, but if they seemingly have spent like 500 million on the game itself, like how much have they spent on acquiring Play Fusion?
Yeah, Rocket Boy's acquisition undisclosed while the financial terms of the deal remain confidential. Was noted that Latham and Watkins advised Build a Rocket Boy on the acquisition of PlayFusion, an independent studio. The acquisition is intended to accelerate growth for Build a Rocket Boy as it continues to develop its flagship products. So yeah, if that's undisclosed, that has got to be a fair amount of cash.
It's starting to question where the hell they're getting all this money from. Because
A
ain't no
hundred.
way IO Interactive funded all of this.
No, not a chance. I'd say that
Yeah,
500 million is very likely.
the only it just keeps constantly looping back around to that 110 mil that they raised.
Yeah, 110 mil there, that's raised. Then before that, they've been developing for what, 5 years?
6 or 7 years.
Yeah. So they've been developing for a long time before that, anyways. So,
Where'd they get all the money for those years? Like this was
yeah,
only early last year.
exactly. So at this point, we are talking that 500 mil figure is most likely the most accurate we've got.
Yeah, considering that's 110 mil just from this alone, and that was only starting last year. So they've got
Yeah.
6 or 7 years that they were just throwing money away, basically, and we don't know how much.
That it's insanity. It really is. But Leslie, framed as one of the driving forces behind GTA series prior to his departure from Rockstar in 2014, seemingly has bigger plans than just fixes. On July 2nd, according to the report, he addressed studio staff via video chat, during which he reportedly said that the studio would make a comeback and relaunch MindsEye, presumably to greater success than it's enjoyed so far. Which, to be blunt, is none. Fair play to the writer of this article.
They're not wrong.
No,
They've got fame, but they've not got success.
no, exactly. He also blamed at least some of the troubles with the game and the studio on, and I'm quoting IGN here, internal and external saboteurs, among other things. That's a wild statement to make, but it's also intriguing because Builder Rocket Boy co-CEO Mark Gerard said something similar in May, that MindsEye's well-documented pre-release troubles were the result of a concerted effort to trash the game and the studio, being waged by forces unknown but strongly implied to be Rockstar. Because Rockstar definitely give two flying fucks about you.
I'm kind of curious as to what the CEO guy did in Rockstar. Like,
He was
what did
the
he do?
he was the lead product manager on GTA 3.
So
Can't
did he
remember.
actually have anything to do with development?
Just project managing, from what I remember.
Yeah.
That
So he
that, that
wasn't
was
actually
about it.
in there doing the dirty work.
Oh no.
He was probably just walking around breathing down on people's backs of the necks and fucking criticizing everything they did.
Pretty much. That's the best thing I can imagine, to be honest with you.
Okay. Uh just looking at this page because obviously they're in red, all I've seen is it just sucks. 26 people playing it on Steam. I think that sums up mine's.
Those are actually really good descriptors, yeah. For both of Builder Rocket Boy's top guys to be making similar claims leave us with two potential explanations. One, the pressure is starting to get to everyone. Two, there really is a conspiracy against Builder Rocket Boy and MindsEye that somehow caused it to not be very good. No.
Goodness, Rory.
I think
30 it's gotten worse. There's 37 in game and the reviews have dropped now to 38.67%.
oh, they went up.
It went up, did it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it used to be 37%. Oh no, it's still
oh no.
37%.
No.
We're good. Don't worry.
We're good.
Yeah, the reviews are the same. To be fair,
Uh,
I find games like this interesting because when you can get this far down without a positive review, you start questioning.
then like
So
you start reading these positive reviews and it's like how are people getting come to these conclusions?
yeah, I mean, look at this. 2nd of July, so that's 4 days ago now. I played for 2.4 hours at this point. I don't have all the complaints I've seen here. Graphic issues, lag, freezing up, lockups, etc. The game's alright, interesting story. I'm curious to learn more about the story through gameplay. Okay, if that was true, if this was real, why are you still only at 2.4 hours? I like it, hopefully a work in progress.
2.2 hours.
Fun to play. Oh, this one's actually an improvement. I'll give him that.
Still not that much. Like, let's be
No.
honest, if you even remotely like a game, I would imagine you've probably played it for a good couple dozen hours.
Hmm.
Unless it's like a game that is like, yeah, 10 to 20 hours, you've pretty much like done everything you can. Because it's just one of those, like, it's just that kind of game. It's not got like replayability too much.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading this one here. For $30, I think it's worth it. Great graphics and gameplay. Lots more you could do here, but I think it's a work in progress still. The fuck you on about $30?
The graphics are, to begin with, the graphics are very basic.
Yeah.
And the gameplay, wow. If you like to point and left click, sure.
Yeah, my favourite thing to do, Will. Damian Wayne Batman game footage leaks online because I'm moving away from MindsEye at faster speeds than ever before. A recent leaked video is showing in-development footage of a scrapped Batman Arkham game centered around the Damian Wayne version of the Cape Crusader. Batman's storied history is one of the most iconic superheroes DC Comics lineup. Yeah. Batman games date back as far as the mid 1980s. Plenty
Wow.
of beloved games drawing from the comic books, animated series, and even some themed around specific Batman movies. However, one particular group of Batman games is often considered among the Dark Knight's best, which is the Arkham series. I absolutely adore. Oh, potential leaked development footage from of the cancelled Damian Wayne game, Batman game, codenamed Project Sabbath. Apparently it's been shared in a recent video. Have a look. Looks like Killer Croc on a motorcycle. Oh, Batman's motorcycle. Cool. I could have a blast riding around on a motorcycle instead of the Batmobile. I'll
There's
be
more
honest.
options with the motorcycle.
Yeah, it was one of the things that let Arkham Knight down. A lot of people didn't like it. I got along with it eventually. It took a while though. Yeah, let's have a look here. So, potential leaked development footage for the cancelled Damian Wayne Batman game, codenamed Project Sabbath, apparently has been shared in a recent video from YouTuber The Atom Smith. Thank you for the footage, sir. The footage shows a Bat-cycle chase between Batman and Killer Croc, utilizing a placeholder Arkham Origins model. Thanks to Grey X9XV once again for bringing this to my attention. To be honest, just knowing that they were working on something else, something different to after the Arkham situation. I try not to talk about it because I know for a fact I'm not going to get another one other than this VR Arkham Shadows game, and it makes me sad.
They're there, Rory. They're there.
It makes me so sad. But yeah, I would absolutely love to get hands on another single player Arkham game. But it's good to see they were definitely doing some work. It's just sad that Warner Bros. Most likely cancelled it, as they usually do. But here we are. You know, I've just realised as well, when it comes to Game Rant, they always have this generate a summary of this article. Like, this is how lazy we've got with AI now.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh, don't you worry, mate. They're gonna get lazier.
Oh, I know they are. I know people at work that do. Insomniac Games could be on the verge of a ridiculous Marvel hot streak. So, new rumours making rounds online suggesting that the next 5 years are going to be absolutely massive for Insomniac Games and fans of the Marvel projects. Insomniac Games has found incredible success with its Spiderman video games, and the studio has already announced that it's working on a Wolverine game, which I'm very excited for. The Wolverine PS5 game was announced years ago, but there still hasn't been many other official updates on the project, beyond that it's still in the works. The unfortunate, we remember covering the data leaks for the Wolverine game. I don't know if you recall this, Will?
You're not.
Yeah,
My brain doesn't work.
it's fine. We had a leak about a year ago, and basically people got access to the Wolverine game early, and because it was all developer footage, so people sat down and actually played it. And obviously it wasn't the full thing, it wasn't complete, but people cracked it, got in, started having a blast with it. A lot of people seem pretty impressed.
The game is like basically not even close to completion, and people managed to get their hands on it and were having fun with it. That's already good news.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, if you're having fun on a game that's development build, it's nowhere near complete, then you've definitely done something right somewhere. As sad as they were, because they've now decided they are going to change a fair bit, because they don't want people to feel like it's the same, which I get. To an extent, I do understand that. The rumour comes from YouTuber The Mag Show, as spotted by Comic Book, and should be taken with a grain of salt. However, if their information is accurate, it seems as though the long-rumoured Venom game from Insomniac will be releasing in 2026, with the Wolverine game dropping at some point in 2027. Finally, it's claiming that Spider-Man 3 is aiming for a 2029 release. If that's true, one has to imagine that Spider-Man 3 will be launching on the PlayStation 6 as opposed to the PS5. But again, fans should take these claims with a grain of salt for now. That would be pretty good to get some actual full kick-in of different games that are out there. See more from Venom, Wolverine, and the Spider-Man games I just fucking fell in love with. What would you say, sir?
I love Venom and Wolverine. Spider-Man's great and all, but I don't know. It's kind of like, what more can be done with them
Yeah.
except Venom, which is like, you have them two fighting. That's like, I mean, that's already been done as well.
Yeah,
You know?
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
These claims are at odds with Insomniac's leaked roadmap, but it's worth pointing out that the Insomniac's roadmap seems to be have been pushed back. Originally, it was believed that Venom would launch in 2025, with Wolverine releasing in 2026. Spider-Man 3 was supposedly going to launch in 2028, with a new Ratchet and Clank dropping in 2029, before Insomniac's X-Men game makes its debut in 2030. Jesus Christ, Insomniac, you have plans over the next 5 years, I see.
Don't they just?
The latest State of Play event came and went with no mention of Venom or Wolverine, but so it would make sense that the timeline is shifted, with everything pushed back by about a year. While it's disappointing that fans may have to wait longer than expected for these games, if the leaks are accurate, Insomniac is about to go on an incredible hot streak to close out the decade. If the Venom game is real and is truly next in line, hopefully fans get their first glimpse of it sooner rather than later. It's yeah, that is an insane playlist for the next 5 years or so. Fair play to
Yeah, to
them.
see that they have that many plans in motion, kind
Oh
of
yeah.
crazy.
It's great to see, honestly. I'm so excited to get more hands-on with Insomniac games, because the time and effort they put into each game is just insane. The quality as well genuinely impresses me. So, Romero Games, the studio helmed by the games industry's veteran couple, John and Brenda Romero, has reportedly been shuttered after the cancellation of its in-development project. Resources have previously indicated that the closure of the 2015 established company was prompted by the recent layoffs at Microsoft and Xbox. Affecting up to 9,000 employees, the layoffs at Microsoft were among the biggest in recent memory. As it turned out, it's not just negatively impacted its own studio, but also a third-party partner studio. Earlier, Romero Games had announced the cancellation of its undisclosed game after the publisher understood to be Xbox cut off funding. However, things seem to have gone down much worse for the Irish developer than what was originally shared. Hey, it's in your neck of the woods, Will.
You don't seem to be doing very well.
Yeah. One Romero Games employee revealed that the company was closed and that everyone had been let go per the journal. Reportedly, the John Romero helmed developer and its publisher had a meeting the day before this happened, during which there wasn't any mention of such a move being planned by the latter. Contrarily, yeah. The team was said to have been acknowledged for its great progress on the project. The source further shared that the devs had confidence in the game seeing the light of day. While the scrapping of the game was described as frustrating, and something that took an emotional toll on the team, they stated that other ways of funding the project were being explored. And then instead, it seems like it's been officially closed, which is extremely sad. The initiative, however, it's also worth remembering that Romero Games wasn't formed or acquired by Xbox, whereas the initiative was an Xbox. Yeah. So it's surprising, to be honest, how this could be impacted, how they could be impacted by Xbox. But I suppose if they've lost funding, yeah, it definitely can happen. But these are all just rumoured, so we have no idea. Anyways, shall we talk about something more uplifting?
Please.
The Stop Killing Games campaign surges past its goals, but there is a possible signature spoofing campaign that could cause trouble. This is not a change.org petition, this is a government process, says the initial founder. So, yeah. Basically, what happened, less than 2 weeks ago, it looked like Stop Killing Games initiative was in trouble. Founder Ross Scott said that the deadlines for petitions filed in the EU and UK were rapidly approaching, but both were still far from the number of signatures required for the next step. The situation has changed dramatically in a brief period since, though, Scott's warning earned attention, interest, and a pile of signatures, and both petitions have now passed their targets. But there is a problem, as there always is. Just to give a little context, I'd say one of the main reason that this actually managed to succeed and get this many signatures, which is insane, by the way, is because of Pirate Software, ironically enough. But not in the usual way of, we need to thank them for what they've done. No. He tried to fight against the Stop Killing Games campaign, and people didn't like him for it. nor did they like how arrogant we've been about it. And it kind of caused a situation where basically we've ended up having more and more people ears on the drama, which has inadvertently turned into this, which I must admit I'm more than happy about. More than, yeah.
I might know a possible cause of why there was a surge in signatures.
All right.
Because did you see the Spiffing Brits upload?
No.
He was basically did a video on buying random CD keys where you can pay like 20 or £30 and get 150 games.
Hmm.
Like random games, of course, but yeah.
Yeah.
Only a few minutes into the video, he actually advertised it of his own volition because he
Oh,
supports
yeah.
it. And that video was only 3 days ago and already has 800,000 views. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that a substantial amount of people from that video saw this, and thus that would gain it attention, and then they would also share it with others, and that's probably the cause of the surge.
Yeah, it's not just Spiff and Bit. Obviously,
No,
he's
no, yeah,
jumped
no,
on it.
obviously not
Yeah,
just him, but
but there's been many YouTubers doing the exact same thing. Obviously, the drama as well kind of went counterproductive for Mr. Pirate Software, who's been that much drama lately. It's hilarious. Um, but it's what it is. The UK petition crossed the finish line first, amassing the 100,000 signatures required to mandate a consideration for debate in Parliament. The UK government had previously responded to the petition in May when it surpassed the 10,000 signatures, essentially saying that existing laws are adequate and rejecting the petition's demand for more stringent regulations. But that response was issued by the UK's Department of Culture, Media and Sports and would have no bearing on any parliamentary action. It's undeniably good news, but Scott told PC Gamer he had no idea how the parliamentary debate will ultimately turn out, and that he's far more optimistic about the European Citizens Initiative if we can get enough signatures. And that is now, and now it has. The petition surpassed 1 million signatures earlier today, which essentially obligates the European Commission to examine and take some sort of action on. Now, the Europeans, I'll be honest, they always get me chuckling with these sort of things. Because I can't get involved. I've tried. Not possible.
not allowed to anymore.
Yeah, I'm removed off this. But, due to Europe and the European Union systems, they've enforced that iPhones need a USB-C charger. Apple isn't very happy about this, but it's beneficial to every user of a phone. Because at the end of the day, don't need like 7 different charging types for different devices. You just need
One
a
of those
USB-C.
companies that
Done.
have completely different fucking port for no reason.
Yeah, like USB Micro, which was the old Android charger, that was used for many devices over the years, not just phones. USB C now is used for pretty much everything other than iPhone, which uses a lightning cable, and that's its own unique cable. Nothing else
Yeah,
uses it other than the Apple
yeah.
brand.
Like USB-C at this point is just essentially universal.
Yeah, exactly. So Europe enforced this, so Apple's got no choice but to implement, which is good. So yeah, it's great to see that it's actually done that. So that petition has now surpassed the 1 million signatures earlier today, which essentially obligates the European Commission to examine and take some sort of action on it. The problem is that the million signatures on the EU petition may not actually be a million signatures. There are 2 reasons for this. Mistakes which are unintentional but inevitable and will be discarded, and more worryingly, a potential spoofing campaign that could be flooding the petition with fake signatures. Scott told PC Gamer that he'd been sent screenshots of spoofing campaigns from sources including 4chan and Discord. It could just be talk, but it's put us on more on guard. These issues do happen with petitions. People sign from locations that they can't really accept them from. And it's annoying, because there's not much else you can really do about it. First off, I want to say this is not a change.org petition. This is a government process. Spoofing signatures on it is a crime. please do not do this. So yeah, please be careful. Don't get yourself arrested because you decided to be a smartass. It's dumb. Very, very dumb.
I literally made it where you have to sign in with like a government ID because that's how it is over here, is it not?
Kind of. You have to confirm that the email is for who they say it is, and you've also got to enter your postcode over here.
Yeah, kind of wonder how they've managed to spoof so much, if they even have. As they said, it is just a rumor, so that they're not
Yeah,
certain as of yet.
it's about normal to be honest. But yeah, if you do want more details and more information, definitely do just check out some updates on the Stop Killing Games YouTube. There's so much there. There's so many details about it. I can't go into all of it right now because let's be honest, we would be at this for hours. But there's
I'm just gonna really quick say, I don't understand the issue with the companies that are just like cutting off service to the games because look at Diablo 3. They're
yeah,
still going.
yeah,
They're not making content updates anymore. They're just repeating seasons and they're still going. And I'm pretty sure they plan to just leave it going as well.
yeah, pretty much.
I don't see this if one massive company can do it, why can't the others?
Yeah,
I really doubt it takes that many resources for such a huge company as well. I doubt it takes that many resources
the
to leave servers up.
the
Was
thing
it
is,
EA was the last big one we were talking about the cut of games services?
yeah, will have been
Even though wasn't there stuff like when you used to get digital copies of it, it said something about like having access to the game for 99 years or something.
something like that. Don't
Yeah.
recall what that was. But the thing is, as we're actually going to be discussing in a minute or two, with this next part. So the entire thing about Stop Killing Games is not demanding that they leave the servers online. That's not what they want. Because at the end of the day, that would be not beneficial for the companies either. Because that's kind of forcing them to keep servers online if there's a dwindling player base. Doesn't make sense to do so.
Different story.
What they're wanting is for the companies to give us like a system or make a plan so that when the game is eventually going to be like dying off, what are ways that we can still access these features? Is it going to be peer-to-peer connection, player hosted servers? What is it? Give us an option outside of basically cutting the content entirely.
Yeah.
That's what they're after. And I think it's a great idea. Just basically saying to them, give us some other options. Don't just remove
Yeah.
it.
If they're gonna cut the servers, like there's no worry of like people hosting servers because they're gonna be like, oh well, they can just completely annihilate the game and make it unplayable or make it not fun because they've changed how the settings of the server or something like that. It's like who cares? If you're going out of your way to do peer-to-peer connection, you're more than likely going to change something just to have fun with it.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's pretty much just seeing what we can get. So like as a initiative to prevent the complete death, still gives access, but make a plan for it. And that's
I
what
do
we're
like
after.
the idea of that. Yeah.
So this weekend, the Stop Killing Games movement reached a critical milestone, which is great news, as we already know. Video Games Europe, a trade association representing game development, developers and publishers in the EU, released a statement on Friday pushing back against Stop Killing Games. Delightful. Video Games Europe has said in its statement, "We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws." I disagree, but sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you've paid money to get access to a service,
Yeah,
and then that service is just being cut off. And just because you've been given, I said it's in quotation marks, due notice of it, that apparently makes it okay.
apparently.
So the money you've paid is just wasted then?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty much what they're after anyways. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. Why? Right, let's tackle this one at a time. So, let's go from here. Private servers are not viable options. Players, here we are. Offers protections to secure players' data. Okay, so that's then something that you just need to remove so that we're not holding on to players' data. Simple, done. Remove illegal content. Why is that up to you if you're killing the game? That's up to the people who host the servers, not you. Combat unsafe community content. It's up to them to lock down their server and the community content that they place into it. Would not exist and would leave right holders liable. Why would it? Why would we be liable and what of? Please explain.
At this point, all they got to do is have a sort of support system in place where all it is anyone who wants to host a server has to get like what's the word, consent from the developers or the owners of the game. So
Yeah,
basically, they have to give them their information, prove that they are who they are and that they're genuine, so that they can host a server with malicious intent, such as stealing player data or anything like that.
without
So that
malicious
if
intent.
something does happen, they have information on them and they can then take action
Yeah,
to go against whatever this person may or may not have done.
yeah. It wouldn't be too difficult to sort out. Simple
Yeah, and all
permissions
that would
system.
require then is just literally a small support section, which not
Yep.
many people are going to host like community servers. There's not that many that would.
Or just do it the Minecraft way and write up an EULA that we have to agree to. Done. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers and those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months. Video Game Europe's case is that it can be too expensive for developers and publishers to offer private servers or single-player modes in games that lose online multiplayer support, and that open or fan-supported versions of these games could present legal liabilities for companies, particularly when it comes to cybersecurity and content moderation. Look, if you're not willing to do it yourself, modders are going to do it, and they will always find a way around these.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, they have got practice. The other side of that coin is, as the Stop Killing Games movement points out, is that players are paying for these games. They don't usually get their money back if the game is shut down. So if they're effectively paying for a product that's taken away from them, of course, developers and publishers will argue players aren't buying a product but a license to access a game. But that's not how many players will look at it. As the official Stop Killing Games website explains, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers, and increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. It's insanity to even think about. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence
Obsolescence.
and is not only detrimental to customers but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Regardless of what Video Games Europe has to say on the movement, it's clearly gained popularity with gamers after garnering over 1 million signatures. It's insane. Unfortunately, even the Stop Killing Games movement eventually succeeds in creating some sort of policy change. They will only apply in the EU and potentially the UK as well. So publishers and developers may still be able to permanently shut down games in other parts of the world. But at which point, let's be honest, what's going to happen if they succeed and they get told, yeah, you've got to basically create a system so that players can host their own servers or whatever. What's going to happen? Simple. The EU and UK members are just going to share that system with the American players.
Let's be honest as well. If people want to play a game badly enough, even though I personally wouldn't, they would happily play on 500 ping.
Oh, definitely. 110% they would. So, WA Union derides Microsoft layoffs when the company is prospering. We are living through a moment of profound corporate consolidation and disruption. Before we get into this, I need to respond to some comments. Because we got some comments last week. Whenever I search TikTok, this guy always pops up.
That's because you are now going to the same link every time. If you were to
Yeah, I
just
know.
search TikTok, go to Google, search for it, and then click on TikTok, you get a different
Oh,
one.
I'm aware. Don't worry.
I had the same
I'm aware.
issue that really annoyed video, and the voice that always started the video really annoyed me.
So, this was regarding us questioning Microsoft's earnings compared to the layoffs. And these two
Yep.
comments are pretty fair, to be honest with you. I can't really argue against them. They do make some very fair points. So, they are probably cutting back on all this staff and shutting down studios to gain more excess cash to buy another business. Microsoft has been buying up tons of companies over this past decade, probably very wrong, but seems like a logical answer. Definitely a possibility. He's
Wouldn't put
not
it
wrong.
past them.
No, definitely not. Yeah, but how much is their wage bill? R&D development and so on. Bet that soaked up most of the profits. Yeah, they will still have a nice wedge left, but that's how the world works, unfortunately. Work hard, have a good time, and build on it, get paid for it. That's pretty much what he's got to say, and he's literally just
So
basically saying he believes
what we
that
were looking at though is there was a massive number for their profits. So that
yeah,
would be like with all
70.1
their
billion.
costs taken out. That was no, that's the net revenues, the 70
That the
billion.
network 70 billion.
I think it was something ridiculous like 25 billion was still the profits, or maybe half that.
Dollars, up 13%, and a net profit of 25.8
Yeah,
billion. Yeah,
25 billion
25.8
profit.
billion.
That's more than a wedge.
Yeah, that's a lot
All
more than a
all
wedge.
their external costs and all that would have been taken out of that 70 billion. So that 25 billion profit is more than likely just raw profit. No other costs except whatever they throw it into next.
So, with those answered, then we get to have a look at this side of things.
Yay.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Oh my god, straight off with 9,000 layoffs.
Yep. So they announced 9,000 layoffs, many of which gutted teams and cancelled games all over Xbox Game Studios. And it hasn't gone over great with, well, anyone whose conscience is intact. Yeah, logical. The Communications Workers of America, a major media union with several locals within Microsoft, took a moment to address its disappointment with a formal statement. We are deeply disappointed with Microsoft's decision to lay off thousands more workers, including union-represented CWA members, at a time when the company is prospering. We will be bargaining with the company over these layoffs, and CWA District Vice President Mike Davis and Derek Osobase will remain directly involved in ensuring that our members are supported and treated with dignity throughout this process. Cummings went on to say, "We are living through a moment of profound corporate consolidation and disruption, noting that union organizing is essential to workers' survival." His accusation of corporate consolidation hardly seems unfair, given the $245 billion Microsoft accrued in revenue last year, a record performance for the company, and its nearly $70 billion deal to acquire a gaming industry titan so large it tangled Microsoft up in a legal battle for the U.S. Federal Trade Commission that took 2 years to resolve. Not wrong. Holy shit. Okay.
It's a sort of topic we covered a while back, and we got sort of more reason to question it when we were looking at Sega's sales,
Hmm.
and we were questioning the reason for the layoffs, especially when there were layoffs happening inside of like development teams that are making games that made just insane profits, but then still seeing layoffs. And we
Yeah,
still have not been given anything showing the thought process behind the layoffs that are happening. Like in some areas we can understand, like when there was one we were talking about last week, I think it was, where
mm,
3 failed games in a row. No wonder the company's going to be pretty much closing.
yeah, very much.
Uh but then again, as I said, we've been seeing these development teams that have made brilliant games that made massive profits, but they were still seeing parts of their teams being laid off, and we've just been given no answers, and no one's questioning it either. We did
I know.
have a few weeks back. We did have like a couple of articles where people were questioning it, but we've not seen anything about it since then.
No, exactly. I'll be honest. I think we actually have an answer. I've got a clip here from a journalist. Would you like me to show it you? It actually seems to answer. It seems like it's an interview with one of the CEOs.
Okay.
Okay.
Is opening a new restaurant called the Krusty Krab 2. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
I feel like this was the perfect response. Let's be honest. If we could ever listen in on the CEOs and stuff who are making these decisions, I guarantee you the answer, as probably their honest feelings on the matter is, we're cutting people because we're wondering if staff can complete the exact same amount of work, if not more, on the same income with less people there. That way, we're saving money, earning more, making our bosses happier. And that
These executive board meetings that happen where all the higher ups go and sit in a big fucking room with a big oval desk. Are you telling me it's all just a bunch of Mr. Krabs sitting there going, money, 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 money?
pretty much, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not a fun time, mate. It's not a fun time.
You've upset me further.
That's fantastic.
Fuck you.
Moving on. When Microsoft announced its
Asshole.
intent to acquire Activision Blizzard, its relationship with the CWA looked surprisingly bright. The two came to a neutrality agreement in 2022. The CWA called it groundbreaking. Since then, though negotiations have stalled, despite union after union continuing to form across Xbox studios, layoffs and studio shutdowns have also come like clockwork, which is especially galling given the $79.1 million pay package awarded to CEO
Right.
Satya Nadella in October 2024. It all
And there was
feels...
one episode where we covered that the main reason that there are layoffs is because even with these hard times that companies are going through, we saw CEOs still getting more money than they got last year.
You know what? Don't worry too much. Well, in 3 articles, I'll give you something that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I remember you saying it whenever you started the episode.
Yeah. So, we'll move on. Yeah. In the wake of Perfect Dark's cancellation, Jonah Dark's voice actor urges fans to help save the series. Agent Dark doesn't give up, and neither should you. If there is actually an original game for Perfect Dark, and basically this is a modernization. I saw the trailer of it a couple of years ago, and it had me pretty hyped. I was really looking forward to it. But, as we've seen, it's been laid off. Due to these Microsoft layoffs, it's gone. It's done. But people make a racket. Sometimes companies do listen. And I believe people should make a racket about this. Speak up. See if you can get through to the corporations that just want money. There has to be a better way than this. Game developers call Microsoft's latest layoffs a colossal waste of talent from a publisher that seems like it's in a death spiral. It's insane, as we were just discussing earlier. Like, despite posting
Yep.
26 billion in profits, and outperforming Wall Street forecasts in the last quarter, they've still laid off 9,000 people. Many of those cuts have affected Xbox gaming divisions, leading to cancellation of projects like Rare's Everwild and an unannounced ZeniMax MMO, and studio closures for teams like The Initiative, which had been developing the now cancelled Perfect Dark reboot. Microsoft has now laid off 20,000 people since the start of 2023. That's just insane.
The number has been increasing as time has went on. So what are we going to see next? 15,000 people laid off?
Yeah,
Like how many
exactly.
people do they have to just keep kicking out the door?
Yeah. On social media, game developers from solo indies to AAA studio staff and everything in between have shared their dismay over continued turmoil affecting their peers and colleagues. It's heartbreaking to watch what's happening to the industry I love, said Eric, former operations manager at Xbox Live and current VP of technology at the Pokemon Company. The incentives are misaligned so strongly that fun games and profitable teams aren't what matter. BioWare veteran and current Skate narrative director John Epler said that he's reeling over the current news that's continuing to break about the further Microsoft cuts. 18 years in the industry, and I can confidently say that this is the grimmest shit that has been yet. There has to be a better way than this. There has to be a better games industry than what's happening to so many people over and over and over. This isn't good enough. Damn right.
Thing is, though, as I said, like in some places you can understand it if there's been like a bad few years of developments and losses.
Oh yeah.
It's the fact that there's no reason behind it from our perspective, anyway, because we're seeing good titles being released, making good income for the company, and we still see layoffs. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Laying off thousands of people so that your numbers look better for the quarter while making many more billions is such a fucked up reality. That's just accurate. There's nothing else that can be said. Now, the question I have to ask, and I'm sure you're probably thinking as well, is what is the better way? What can we do that's better? Obviously, we don't want to be cutting people off if we're making that much extra money. Like, fuck, that doesn't make sense to do.
Nope.
But we need something. What can we say that's going to be better? Well, one company seems to have figured that out. Valve's reported profit per head from Steam commissions is out there. And at $3.5 million per employee, it makes Apple and Facebook look like a lemonade stand.
If I recall from when we were looking at before, isn't there only like 100 odd employees for Valve?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, that's gonna give these companies bad ideas though, because they're gonna think, oh, we just need only 100 employees, not 10,000. Okay.
Yeah, but the big difference is what Valve does in comparison. Valve takes years to make a game. It also takes years to develop hardware. It takes years to update its systems. It takes years on everything it does. But usually that pays off. So, remember last year when leaked documents from the court case between Valve and... Yeah, this is something we discussed and we talked about how actually the details came out. That was remarkable as news days go, but there's some info missing. Miller's calculations for Valve's net income per employee was redacted, meaning we only could tell that it was higher than Facebook's $780,400 net income per employee, in second place, and much higher than Apple's $476,160 in third. How much bigger was uncertain. But as spotted by the Financial Times, one particular leaked document from the case got snatched back down before most people could notice it. One that supposedly shows Steam's commission revenues between 2009 and 2021. Now, since it's important to emphasize, as the FT does, that this document has long been yanked offline from where it was originally leaked, meaning we can only go by the words of SteamDB's Pavel Jundik and the r/fuck epic subreddit. I like it. Great name.
Epic fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does. Damn right it fucking does. So, take some numbers with a grain of salt, but they're certainly believable. Per the docs, Steam's commission revenue, the juicy cut it takes from its sales on its platform, climbed from mere $100 million-ish in 2009 to a tough-to-fathom $2 billion in 2021, where the data ends. In terms of Steam's operating profit margins, its earnings minus its expenses of running Steam and Valve more generally, that increased from 30% to just under 60%. Combine those figures and you get a 2021 operating profit of about $1.2 billion just from Steam in 2021 alone. So let's do some maths. Those leaked court documents showed that Valve had 336 employees. That was it. That was the number. In 2021. Some quick division would put the company's profit per head from Steam's commissions alone at $3.5 million. The FT's own calculation, which just factors in the 79 employees Valve has on Steam, puts the 35 it has in admin, yields the even more eye-watering number of $11.4 million per employee in operating profit as Steam's commission.
Oof.
That is just eye-watering. That's insane. Truly insane. Cool to see, though. Very interesting, too.
I mean, it's our main marketing. I mean, it's gonna be the only marketing soon, I imagine, because the rest of them are just fucking only for a few games.
Yeah.
Like the only other what's like the biggest competitors? EA has a few games on there compared to like Battle.net and all that. Battle.net has what, like 10 or 20?
Yeah.
I don't know how Epic exists. And we had a whole episode about this, about just questioning how Epic works.
I'd say GOG is probably the best competitor Steam has. Not because it's used as much, but because it has better features that Steam could do with implementing. That is the way that GOG fights, basically. And it works well. It's just go away. It's just it could do with some improvements. Anyone would agree with that, to be honest with you. And the store in particular could do with a massive fix.
Yeah, that's rough to look at.
Yeah. Oh, they actually run a summer sale, same as Steam. Good on them. Never knew they did this. But yeah, GOG's probably the one I would say has like the best chance at combating Steam. But they don't. Because they know what they've got, they're happy with what they've got, and that's all they want. They'll keep improving as they go. That's about it.
No point looking a gift horse in the knife, whatever the saying is.
No, exactly.
Take what you got and run with it.
Exactly that. Rust's developer is overhauling the survival sims mission system so it can create in-game quests faster and more easily. The process to create new missions internally is quite cumbersome and error-prone. Latest update also adds a party system and improved erosion. So, Will, Rust is your jungle, so to speak.
Jungle update was so dog shit. It was, quote unquote, their biggest content patch to date.
You sound so cheerful.
It is the most pointless pile of shit ever. All it is it just adds an area that no one goes to.
Did you play the...
Looks good, and that's it.
Did you play the new Friends with Benefits update?
Half it doesn't even work. All it's for is just loading in together. So you're meant to spawn like 100 meters within each other. So all that means is, you're gonna load in on wipe. You're gonna stand up on the beach, and you're gonna see a clan of 20 people stand up next to you.
Delightful.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Outposts.
I
team invite
genuinely
changes.
can't wait. I can't wait to see the clips of it as well. Of like streamers just standing up on the beach starting to run, and they just see like a 20-man already like farming trees together with their rocks.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Rust updates aren't really updates anymore. There's some QOL stuff that gets added that's usually quite nice, but actual content stuff is always just crap.
It does seem that way, honestly. Improved erosion. The hell's that about?
I don't even know.
Blending canyons. It just seems like a load of crap.
Yeah, like most of it is. This whole year, mate, has been crap. Although all the big updates, if you want to call them that, are like no one does anything with them. Like the primitive mode that got added earlier this year, completely pointless. They're adding a load of changes to hardcore mode to try and again revive hardcore mode. Nobody plays it.
Doesn't surprise me. Also, looking ahead, they're going full naval.
Oh yeah, but again, like this is going to be another update that no one's going to bother playing with because submarines exist in the game. Like tugboats were another massive update to the game, and as cool as they are, and as useful as they are, if you like to play on the water and go to rigs and cargo and stuff, it's completely pointless because the moment you're off it for 2 seconds, a sub pulls up and it's like 13 torpedoes, which is stupidly cheap, and your tugboat's sunk and all your loot's gone in it. And it's going to be the exact same with this. You're basically going to be able to make it based on water, I believe. But again, a submarine's just going to come along and sink it, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, cool.
Just looking at this, like, those are the only ways of fighting. You need something that can prevent submarines.
On paper, it looks great, and then when they release it, it's just gonna be completely worthless. And I don't even play water in this game anyway, because if you're on a tugboat and someone's on cargo and you're pulling up, you want to try and kill them before you're boarding, so you don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
You hit them like 10 times. Theoretically, they should be dead. You check your combat log, every shot's invalid because the game doesn't register shit correctly,
Oh,
which is why I don't play water at all. The state of the game is just awful, mate.
So what the developers need to focus on is actually fixing the game.
Oh no,
Plain
absolutely.
simple.
Fixing the game and fixing cheaters, which they've apparently fixed but didn't fix. They basically they added occlusion to the game. So basically, if a player is behind rocks or like fully behind a base and not like close to where they would be in your line of sight, they don't render. So it's meant to fight ESPers, wall hackers. And if you're not rendered, they won't see you.
Yeah.
But that didn't fix shit, and also it just means that like there was a clip I was watching Posty one day. He was looking at a guy who literally vanished before his eyes and then reappeared like 20 meters ahead because of the occlusion update that doesn't work.
Doesn't shock me at all.
And then I believe I mentioned last week how they're going to be unbanning people and telling them, yeah, so
yeah, the second chance
if you
thing here.
yeah, if you don't have a hardware ban, you haven't been banned in the last 8 months, and you don't have multiple bans, you can go and buy another account and play again. So they're basically saying, yeah, give us more money and we'll let you play again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not that it matters, because as I said, like people with bans 0 days ago can still play the game, so a ban just means literally nothing. It is up to server owners in modded servers to decide if they want you to ban. So if they detect that you have multiple bans, you'll get immediately banned from that server. Not a game ban, because that's Facebook themselves, but the server owner can just ban you from that server. Or if you have a ban from X amount of days ago or less, they'll insta ban you as well.
Yeah, insane, absolute insanity.
And then even if you have a VPN, if your account doesn't have many hours, they'll ban you as well and say contact support on Discord if this is a mistake.
Genuinely crazy. Genuinely.
It's pointless talking about it, honestly, mate. Like, there's nothing interesting going on in the end. There's QL stuff is great. Like, the stuff they've been doing in that sense has been great, and they have
Yeah.
added a couple of good things. But overall, like the majority of the stuff that they add is just nobody bothers. It's a complete waste of time, because a month or two later, it's dead and no one cares about it.
No, I get that. I thought I'd pull up some footage of the new RoboCop DLC.
The new guy in town may have been defeated in RoboCop Rogue City, but crime never sleeps, thankfully.
Because the first one was fantastic.
Unfinished Business is a standalone expansion that features a whole new story, smashing combat, and even deadlier punchlines.
Your actions have consequences.
So, ready to get back good.
But I just want to murder more people, you know? Like,
Who doesn't?
yeah, like killing people as a badass robot cop, just walking around. It was amazing. It was the most enjoyable experience I had pretty much
A ruthless group of
last year.
mercenaries has seized OCP's technology to
Concerning,
enforce their
actually.
own twisted justice from their land in the Omni Tower, a new residential building created by OCP.
I like
but turned
this.
into a fortress. Only one cop can
More
reach the
people
top
to
of the tower
murder,
and stop
yes.
them.
RoboCop was like the start of Cyberpunk 15 years ago, you know?
You'll face several
Oh, definitely. Longer than 15 years, though.
squads with miniguns.
I mean, look at the way this game is made. It's very long time ago.
Oh, Jesus. Nice.
That was good.
Foes. Danger is around every corner.
Oh.
Thankfully, not only can you rely on your trusty Auto-9 and a large arsenal, but you can also
Jesus.
count on OCP's latest creation, the Cryo Cannon.
Oh. Oh.
Weapon that cools down any enemy's vision. If your enemies dare
Please
to
say they
touch
smash
yours,
into pieces.
use your unmatched strength.
You would imagine.
Bad guys
Yeah.
with bare hands, or even execute finisher.
Wait, we can play as other characters now.
RoboCop's past, as you relive moments when he was Alex Murphy, a beat cop of Detroit. During your mission,
More than happy to
you'll
do so.
also get to unveil more of the storyline through the eyes of other characters, and even play ED209, offering
Yes.
unique playstyles and perspectives.
Jeez.
Are you ready to enter the Omni Tower and uphold the law?
So, I need that, like,
11 days, Roy.
yesterday. No, I need it yesterday. Will.
Is it even on? Are you even going to be able to play it on PC though?
I played the first on PC. To be fair, yeah, it's
Sure.
there. But you can pick up Rogue City for literally a £4.50, or just pay £5 for the Alex Murphy edition. But it's well worth it. The game was fantastic. Really enjoyed it, and I don't even know the Treon and Necon, two companies I'd never heard of before. So to see another one coming out, I'm very excited. It's already on my wish list. And reasonable prices.
Yeah,
You know,
it's nice to not see these massive fucking price tags on games.
I might have to wait a little bit, because with it just saying here, fight your way to the top floor, I have a bad feeling that they're charging 25 quid, and it's pretty much just going to be like work your way up a building. I don't know how I'd feel about that unless it's. I suppose it's like a DLC at that point, but it's got to be damn worth the price.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get it a couple days after it releases and
See what reviews say and all that.
Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely worth checking out. The first was great. It's cheap at the moment. Pick it up if you got the chance. I just thought it'd be easier to watch the video than it would be to read all that. So
It certainly looks good and enjoyable. Just building of death and murder. That sounds good to
exactly,
me.
100%. It's always going to be fun. So Rematch plans to actually add a system to deal with cheaters. I think Rust could do with this bit here.
They have it, but
Oh no! Apparently they've
don't
removed
utilize it.
the slapping cheaters with indefinite bans. They seem to have removed that feature.
Their exact words are, "They're not naive. People change. They are very much naive if they think people aren't just going to go and cheat yet again."
We're not
What's
naive,
even
people
worse,
change.
is people have already cheated again because they immediately went and got an alternate account.
I think GTA is a good example of this. GTA Online, if you cheat once, you get a 30-day suspension. You cheat a second time, you get a permanent ban.
Oh, don't worry. Russ also went through the temp ban phase where people who were so blatantly cheating, even like their EAC picked them up cheating and banned them, and they were still only temp banned for 3 days and able to play again without a ban on record 3 days later. It's ridiculous.
There we are. So, over the past weeks, we have received a significant increase in reports regarding violations of code of conduct, including incidents of cheating, griefing, and toxic behaviour. We want to take a moment to openly address this openly with our community. We take these matters extremely seriously. Rematch is designed to be a challenging, fun, and fair. Actions that undermine fair play harm the experience for everyone, and we are committed to ensuring a safe and positive environment for all players. Dev then went on to explain what they'll be doing to stop jerks from scoring own goals. You'll get 3 days in the matchmaking ban slammer for it. For abusive language, threats, or persistent harassment, you'll be banned from 3 to 7 days. And for cheating, indefinite bans. Slowcap also mentions that anyone who keeps breaking the rules also could receive indefinite bans as well. While at the moment players can only submit reports through the game's Discord server, Slowcap promises it's working on implementing a player report feature directly in the game and through its website, which will be a relief. It's good to see, and to be honest, I'm surprised they actually kept up and decided to work on it as quick as they did. Usually they take a little while.
We talked about it over across a few different episodes since the start of this channel about cheating. And years ago, when you and I were just little boys sitting there playing Call of Duty, not really knowing or caring about what anything else was, when you came across a cheater, it was insanely fun. They modded a lobby, made it ridiculous, changed a lot of different settings of that lobby to where you were jumping 20,000 feet in the air and just infinite ammo, doing stupid shit, running at the speed of light. And it was funny and it was cool. And it didn't happen that often, so it didn't get boring either.
Yeah.
And back then it was good. Nowadays, you run into cheaters near enough every day. And people don't do it because it's fun or anything. People do it because they're upset that they lost a game because someone was better than them. and took that as an opportunity
That's
to just cheat and ruin everyone else's experience because they lost.
This was it. One sec. What's this? Do you think he's cheating, Will?
No, that's obviously legit.
That's what I kept seeing. But yeah, less than 10 days, and this is the shit that people are seeing.
I mean, that's just standard these days. Is the upsetting thing that.
Yeah, it's like I think honestly the worst one to deal with is when you talk about like Call of Duty and stuff like that, because they've been using the same engine for that long at this point.
Yeah, I mean, people are cheating in the beta, let alone the release of the fucking game.
Yeah, exactly. They've already fucking cracked what they need to do to cheat in that game before the game's even created. That's how you know you fucked up.
It's crazy. All I've done over the years is repeat myself saying the same thing about how I feel about it, and nothing has changed. So it's just gotten to the point where it's like, is there any point in me trying to fight it anymore?
Not particularly, other than us screaming, shouting, abuse at CEO. Let's be honest, they don't care. They're getting paid to deal with that shit.
There's two things I do in Rust when I encounter a cheater. Either they are beatable to an extent, and you figure out the easiest way to continuously kill them until they either move on or rage quit because their cheats aren't good enough, or they just have absolutely insane cheats and you just sit in base and wait for them to move to a different area because you're not coming out anymore.
You've just reminded me about something. So there's an issue at the moment. I don't know if you've heard, but basically a lot of old Call of Duty games have recently been updated for no reason. So everyone's got the belief that all the older Call of Duty games are going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass so that people will be able to access it. So we're going to see a massive increase. And the first example...
World at War, we're just going to see 500 servers of 128 people on a small-ass map just going absolutely mental.
Possible, yeah. But the first example of this was Call of Duty World War II. Different games.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah.
I did see this, but I'm speaking of World War II, I saw a guy get banned for apparently being British.
Yeah. What's happening is basically they're doing a certain type of attack. And these attacks are effectively allowing them to execute scripts. So at the moment, the best thing to do, and as sad as this is to say to people, avoid playing older Call of Duty games. Because you can have your system fucked up.
Yes, I don't know if it was Call of Duty, I saw a game where people were fully taking control of their PC.
Yeah.
It probably was Call of Duty.
And
it basically just said, this is whatever the name was, please contact RCE, this or that.
That's it. It's an RCE attack, and it can be done on most of the older games. If you actually look on Steam, there's been negative reviews for years about it. But yeah, World War II is currently getting hit by it, and so many people are dealing with these problems. I mean, you can see here. This Cyber Maddie is the one I actually watched this morning. She did a really good video, actually, on what it is. As she says here, it's real. It's a dangerous vulnerability. Could allow hackers to remotely execute code on your system just by joining the wrong Call of Duty lobby. Like, how insane is it?
Isn't that old.
No.
It's only like 5 or 6 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it came after all the fucking futuristic bullshit.
Yeah. It released in...
2017, okay, 8 years. Still, though, it's not that old.
No.
Although it is kind of crazy.
Activision's officially taken it offline as of 3 minutes ago. Yeah.
There you go. Shows how bad it is.
Yeah, it's horrific, and just be careful when playing them. They've been warned about it for years through us on Steam, who have been telling them, stop it, pack it in.
Oh, they're not gonna listen, man.
No. They do not care about us. But yeah, we should be able to start seeing some actual players come back to the old Call of Duties, like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, that sort of stuff. World at War. As of the next couple months, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, you can see them all here, mate. Everyone knows about this. It's been an issue that's been going on for a while, and people are coming back to negatively review it so that people know. And these are all the things, by the way, that people can do.
It's a lot. Yeah, that is a whole...
That's a hell of a list.
Format all drivers. That's just a dick move.
Oh, yeah. Discord token stealing, credential stealing, process howling. There's so hollowing. Sorry.
No, a
There's so
lot
much
of
stuff
that
can be
is
done.
like seriously bad. But if you
Yeah.
hack someone's PC to format their driver, that's his dick move, man.
Oh yeah, you make a copy of it, then format it, and then get them to pay you to get the stuff back. Personally, I just wouldn't bother paying them.
If it were me, I'd be like, oh, thanks, I've been meaning to do a fresh install.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair though, I don't know if you've seen this. If you're gonna reset this PC nowadays, just here, basically it'll reinstall your entire Windows OS, but it'll keep your apps, files, and settings.
That's
So
actually quite nice, because a lot of the
it's a
time
really
you
good feature.
just... Yeah, like after you've had it running for like a year or two, you kind of want to do a fresh install,
Yeah.
because it does start to feel like it's like slowing down a little
It does,
bit.
yeah. But yeah,
Like
now they've added a
even
button.
since I built my PC to now, it's not anything considerable by any means, but my
Oh,
PC
no.
does take longer to start already.
I
And
recommend
it's not
like
that
every
much
6 months.
longer
That's my
to
usual recommend.
reinstall. Jesus.
That is the like proper recommendation, but I've
Really?
personally always gone like a year, maybe 2 years, because
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
that's what I'm comfortable doing. But using that system, because it doesn't
Yeah, if
cause
that's
me
an
any
option.
issues, it takes like half an hour at most.
Yeah, I
But
guess you could do it every 6 months with that now being the option, but like having to do
yeah,
it all manually and like
oh, it was a
reinstall
ball
everything,
ache.
it's just so annoying and time consuming.
Not
And
just
then
that,
you
you
always miss
lost one
something and you
drive.
realize
You always lost like one drive full of stuff, which was your C drive, which always
yeah,
wound me up. But using that system, all my C drive stuff stays.
yeah. My main issue is like all your applications you typically have in your C drive as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you have to reset everything up, make sure all the settings are correct for it. For
Yeah.
example, making sure it's not all starting on startup because you're not going to fucking use it. And
Yeah,
making
exactly.
sure that when you exit the application, it exits it and doesn't leave it running in background because for some reason
Yep,
if I wanted it running in the background, I would minimize it.
fucking spot on.
It's having to reset everything up for because that's the way you liked it. That's the annoying part.
Yeah, thankfully there are some apps out there now though that do this for you. So you basically just run it before you do a backup.
I don't want another application though, because then you end up with 500 applications, which is why I don't
Well,
really
yeah,
bother
that's
using
kind of what a
software.
PC is.
Yes, but a lot of them are just for like one small little thing. It's like, no, I can't be bothered. I don't want you. Go away.
Yeah, that's just laziness. That's the difference.
No, that's me wanting to do it myself because I am autistic.
Now.
What?
Anyways.
Screw you.
No. Anyways.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's everything I've got to discuss today, unless you've got anything you'd like to add, sir?
Why did you bring Russ into it? Huh?
So I need to avoid rust like the plague, yeah?
It's
Don't
just
mention
crap.
it anything. It is,
just
but
crap.
you play it so fucking often.
Don't remind me.
Exactly. Anyways, with all that said and done then, I think we are done for the week, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cry in a corner.
No problem at all. With all that said and done then, thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and join the Discord, which is in the description. But
I'm gonna start my own petition to like, when we get enough signatures, you're forced to have a week where there's no negative news.
That's gonna be rough. Like one thing, and I'll have to try and stretch it out into an hour. That'd be a challenge. I don't like the sound of this. No. Stop. Get some help. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all next time.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.